You need standards that hurt to keep. So often people, and as I keep finding in this life more and more, that have these standards that, if we're being totally honest, aren't even fucking standards. They're just existing. They're just drifting through the fucking life here. Like, just one day at a time, with no plan, with no standards, with nothing. And then they're like, oh, why does this happen to me? Like, I hate this part of my life. I hate these things. But of course your life is nowhere near where you want it to be. Of course you don't have the things you want out of this life. Your standards are non-existent. Your standards are built around your comfort level and what's easy and what feels good in the moment. Not actually, doing anything to improve your life. As I said, you should have standards that hurt to keep, that are uncomfortable, that make you question what you are doing, that require effort every single day. These are the standards that should guide your life. And you're not just existing through it, and that is everything is easy and gentle. Because, if that's your definition of a standard in your life, you're never going to get anything of value. Things of value require effort and follow through and consistency. They require showing up in a certain manner. And you need to change the standards that you attach to your life. Because, the simplest way I've always heard about it is, you don't get out of life what you want, you get out of life what you'll tolerate. So if your standards are built around comfort, that's what you tolerate. I need to pick something that's comfortable. It makes me feel good. You're choosing sedation and ease in every moment, not this is the standard that I set. That's why I've stated before and I'll state again. Being a man of your word is the greatest gift that you could ever give yourself, give your wife, give your children, give everyone who loves and adores you. That is the greatest gift you could give. And to be honest, most of you are fucking liars. Most of you are lying. And not just to the world at large, not to everyone out there, but to yourself. Let me ask you this question. How many times have you said, today I'm going to do X. Work out, eat a diet, follow through, do this work, contact that person, whatever the fuck it might be. And by the end of the day, life happened and you just didn't do it. If you said that you were going to do it and then it just doesn't happen because insert validation, you're a fucking liar. As I said, the biggest and worst lie you can tell is to yourself. Because you already know that you're lying. Like, let's be honest here. Let's be really transparent and honest. You know, at the start of the day, if you say you're going to do something, whether that's true or not, barring true great interventions, you know that what's true or not. And for most people, you know from the get-go that that was a lie. That you weren't actually planning on doing it. Or you do it if it was comfortable enough. Because most of the times you'll find excuses and distractions to not do the work that is necessary. And the worst one is always, and I've spoken about this before, and I've fallen into this trap myself, is productive procrastination. You'll find any excuse not to do that one thing, or to do that thing that's going to move you forward in the direction that you really need to go. Whether that be, I need to clean my office, clean my desk, clean my car. I need to go do that. I need to make that phone call to that person about that thing. I need to check in on that friend. Or whatever the excuse might be. But yeah, it's productive. Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing to do, but is it progressing you towards a better life? Is it moving you forward, moving the needle? If the answer isn't a resounding fuck yes, well then, no, it does not need to be done this second. I think this is the trap we create for ourselves. Because if you ask most people what they've got going on in their life, they'll tell you they're so busy. They've got so much going on. They've got all these things that they have to do, and they're always doing stuff. But when you actually break it down, when you actually analyze where they're at, most of it's busy work, if there's work at all. Most people are occupied most of the time, not busy, not productive, not doing things of value. You know? It's like when we talk about exercise and people are like, I just do not have time. Unless pretty much your entire life, is 16 hours of working and then 8 hours of sleep, you have time. You are making different decisions. And this comes back to the standards that you set. I would classify myself as a pretty damn busy person. I would. I would. I also know that I still waste a shit ton of time. That if I really dialed it in, if I really wanted to squeeze every single second out of the day, there is way more time that I could. It was one of the things I said to a friend of mine actually last week, and I was like, I have had enough of my own shit and I want to double down. And here is the problem that most people face on this, is that if you look at my discipline and you look at my standards, compared to your average Joe, I am killing it. I am kicking ass and taking names. I am on fire. Compared to my potential, compared to where I could be, compared to how much I could be getting out of this life, I haven't even scratched the fucking surface. But we want to compare down. We want to compare our standards to the lowest common denominator. And that means you get the lowest common denominator result. Fuck all. I talk about it all the time. Where average is at the moment is fucking sad. What we consider normal and okay is just a pathetic excuse. What is average is not okay, and we need to stop settling for mediocrity and start making definitive life choices that are going to progress us forward. That just because you're doing better than Joe down the street does not mean you're doing well. And this is the thing, that people want to compare not to a higher level, not to something that's going to force them to level up, but to something that makes them feel good. As I said, your standards should hurt. Your standards should be so high that it makes you uncomfortable to keep them. And I have that in some areas and not in other areas. That's why I am calling myself out on my bullshit to force myself to level up. Because yeah, I do waste time. I still do spend too much time on my phone. I do waste time just filling in, being busy, where I could be doing work. As I said, most people who are like, oh, I don't have time to work out. If I check your phone, how much time do you fucking spend on it? Have you ever actually looked? Are you even aware of how much time you're pissing away? If we were to audit your life and you had to track in 15-minute increments what you'd been doing for the last 15 minutes, how much of that time would have actually been spent doing anything of value? I've done it. It hurts. It's fucking scary. It is deeply terrifying how much time we piss away doing nothing. You have time. I can near guarantee it. And you still waste time. You still piss away time. You're just making decisions. It's about what you will tolerate, and it's about where your standards set. As I said, my standards mean that I work out every single day. My standards mean that I go for a weighted walk every single day. My standards means that I eat an animal-based diet every single day, that I drink 4 liters of water every single day, that I take daily photos, that I do this every day, that I post this every day. These are my standards. And sometimes it is deeply fucking uncomfortable. Deeply. Sometimes I don't want a bar of it. Sometimes it's pissing down at rain and I want to just stay at home. I still have to do these things because my standards dictate this is what is required. Not what is nice, not when it's comfortable, not when it's easy, but that it must be done. And now I have to transfer those standards to the other areas because I want to elevate other areas. Yeah, this makes it hard sometimes, but I have ingrained this. And that's when you level up. Too many people reach a point where they go, this is comfortable and doable and I will just settle for this. They reach a point where life is okay. Not great, not fantastic, not, shout it from the rooftops, my life is kick-ass, but it's okay. And they will settle there. They will accept it there. You have to keep setting standards and re-evaluating your standards because they should hurt. They should be uncomfortable. They should make you go, am I truly a man of my word? Am I willing to do this? And most people's standards are just to exist. As I said, they tolerate it. They tolerate this existence. You cannot continue to tolerate this existence. You must level up because there is only growth or death. There is nothing in between. There is no maintenance. There is no maintaining. You either grow or you die. And people don't see it that way, but you are going backwards. And as always, I use the gym as the example. People are like, I'm just going to maintain. I'm like, you're not. You're not maintaining anything. You're not gaining anything from that. Yeah, it's better than sitting on the couch doing nothing, but only fractionally better than doing nothing. It's a lot of effort that's wasted if you are not forcing yourself to progress. You're not forcing yourself to get better. You're not pushing the limits to see what is possible for you. You must continue to push forward. You must continue to do what is necessary. You must continue to set higher standards for yourself that hurt to keep. But that's what it means to be a man of your word, a man of discipline, a man of grit, a man who's pushing forward to lead his family the best way he can. It requires you getting uncomfortable. It requires you doing work. It requires you putting aside comfort and ease to become the greatest version of yourself. And it will separate you from mediocrity because, to use my favorite saying, the bar is on the fucking floor. It is on the floor. It is so easy to be better than average these days, but we are not chasing better than average. We are demanding greatness of ourselves. Now we must continue to elevate. We must continue to demand that highest level, to demand that greatness. And it will be deeply uncomfortable. It will make you feel like there are days where you don't want a bar of it, but you must keep pushing forward. And it means every single day, not when it's convenient. Every single day. And I get people who question me on it. We're going on holidays in a couple of weeks. I'm going to take my weight vest. I am going to take a kettlebell. And I will do this shit on my holiday. Usually it means I get up earlier than everyone else. While everyone else is bumming around on holidays, I get up early and I do that shit. And then after my kids have gone to bed, I will go do my weighted walk. And people are like, shouldn't you just enjoy downtime? No. It is about being the greatest version of myself. I can still enjoy that I am out with my family and I am doing the work. But I have set a standard for myself, and it means that the standard is met no matter what. Because if you only do it when it's easy and comfortable, that's not a standard. That's just something that it's a nicety. And it's not going to deliver the results that you want and need. You must choose to do the work no matter what the circumstance. That is when you'll find the separation, and that is where you'll find the breakthrough. Because you are becoming a different man. You are becoming these standards that you set for yourself. And you will find that you will rise and fall to these standards. Not just to the niceties of it. You will actually be able to go, this is who I am in all circumstances. And that, my friend, is the separating factor. So, do you have standards that hurt? Or do you just have niceties? Things that you do when things are easy? These are the questions you need to start asking. You need to start questioning your resolve and questioning where you're at. And if you go, I don't have time, I'm too busy, well, let's start doing a time audit. Let's get real fucking raw and honest about what we're utilizing our time for. Because I guarantee you have time for at least a 45-minute workout a day, if not doing the weighted walk as well. But most people aren't willing to invest. Most people aren't willing to do the work and do what is required. So if you're ready to finally step the fuck up and do what is necessary, now is your moment. Now is the time. You ready for that?